Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Well, just admit it. You have jazz hands going while you're listening to that music, don't you? You do. I know you do. Well, welcome to Tuesday. It's Transformational Tip Tuesday. There's Jocelyn. Good to see you, Jocelyn. Hello, Lily. Good to see you. I'm popping in. And I know the rest of you are going to be here in just a minute. Anyway, it's a good day to be here. And I'm really thrilled that you're here. Vicki, you too. Anyway, transformational tip. This week, we're talking about getting back to basics. And I can't think of anything more basic than the sprint. That is our basic starting place. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Carla. Good to see you. Rosemary's in the house. Love to see all of our lovelies showing up and getting ready for this gorgeous day. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but it is getting super pretty out there. Lucy, Joanne. Good to see you, Jeanette. Really great. You know, we are sprinting 1 week from yesterday, so in 6 days. It is coming. It is coming. And this time around, I want you really ready. So ready, so knowing, so everything that you just have no choice but to nail this thing down. How about that? Nail it down. And I know that you can do it. There's Noreen and Trisha and Catherine also in the house. Good to see you, ladies. So I'm going to be taking you through 5 needle movers that are part of the sprint and why they work. Because I've talked about this before in webinars and all this other kind of stuff. But do you know that we forget all these things? And sometimes coming back to square one is the place that we need to go. We always need to go back to basics. Basic everythings. That's what moves the needle. Hi, Corliss. Good to see you. Samantha's in the house. Brittany's in the house. So is Angie. Good to see you all. And Melissa, lovely Melissa. She was there on, she did a hot seat on Saturday. And speaking of that, speaking of Saturday, we did Full Bloom. It was a phenomenal time together. I really feel connected, don't you? We really connected well. Martha was there, Jackie. Yeah, all of us, we just connected. Now, here's the thing that I want you to know. We have to take it out. At some point we have to just pull out, right? We just have to be done. And we have the Full Bloom is going to be going into the vault at the end of today. So if you want to get the replay, it's up to you. You can have it and keep it forever and ever, but it's only available till the end of today. Get her done. Get her done. Hey, Sarah. There's Flynn, my hydrator, my hydrating Flynn. I'm hydrating. I'm using look at my pretty Full Bloom water bottle. I just, enjoying all of that. So there's Terry. She was there too. So enjoyed Full Bloom. I'm so glad you did because your participation, everybody participated too. They were chatting in the chat, staying on topic, supporting one another. You should have seen the support, man. I was in tears. It was something. It was something. So I really appreciate all of that. And then the virtual swag bag. Now I'm going to tell you about this virtual swag bag. In it, you're going to get a coupon for a free cooking class. I'm going to do some really intense cooking classes and troubleshoot and show you, do a whole meal for you. We're going to do a brunch and a bunch of other stuff. That's going to be happening in this summer sometime. The first one's going to be happening this summer. What has happened is, and this blew me away, our Take Back Your Life journals flew out the door. This is the only one in my house right now. They're all gone. They've already been purchased and gone and out the door. We have a whole bunch of new ones coming, probably going to be here on Friday or Saturday. And then we have to put them out in the mail. And then will they be there in time on May 15th? We don't know. So we are doing workshop number 2 on May 22nd from 10 to 12. The only requirement is, of course, that you have this journal. And number 2 is if it's not there in time, just go ahead and put May 22nd on your calendar. Would you do that? Would you do that? Oh, that's so sweet, Trisha said. Look at all of you. Hi, Vanessa. Good to see you, Doris. Look at all of that. I love it. Trisha's husband was even listening to us be all that. Isn't that so sweet? So this week, we are getting back to basics. And those of you who've done the webinars and seen all of that, you have the guide, you have it printed. savingdinner.com/sprint is where you go and pick it up. Now, this is a free program. But you know what I like to do? I like to say, print it out, get into it, and act like you are planning your own wedding or your daughter's wedding or whatever. Such detail, such knowing in it and knowing it and understanding it. Do you know, when we do that, when we invest our time into really learning about something, we get mastery over it. And we get mastery over it, then we get to light it up and really learn how to do it and really get to the place like Joanne and Sarah and Jama and all of my gals. There's Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you. Debbie Jansen, Vanessa, all of my girls who've had all this fantastic, Jocelyn, you know, I've seen a lot of people get amazing results. There's Doris. Nice to see you. And when I see those results, I always see a couple of things that they all have in common. They're involved in the group. They're helping and supporting. They're also asking for encouragement because that's how it all works, right? You give and you get back. But they also know this program backwards and forwards. They're the ones giving the advice and helping out. I love that. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. And, you know, when this happens, Sarah said, my sprints are more carefully planned than my own wedding was. I get it. Noreen's got great results too. When I see these great results, they all have the same thing in common. That's why I'm talking about it this week. Now, we have what we're calling the Hot Melt Club at savingdinner.com or the Hot Melt Hub, savingdinner.com/sprint, because there, not only do you pick up the guidelines, but you can see the whole email sequence that's there. We have them there and the encouraging videos along the way. And there's just everything that you need. It's all right there. It is all right there. And that is a huge resource for you. And it's free. It is free. Yeah, it does work, Mary. You're so right. And good to see you. Good to see you. Hi, Mary. I got 2 Marys in the house. Nice to see you both. What a fun time. Anyway, I want you guys, I want you to do the sprint. I want you to go to the next level. I want you to get the journal. You get the journal at savingdinner.com/journal. Go ahead and purchase it now because we just ordered a whole slew of them and they're on the way in. As soon as they get in, they'll be in the mail to you. But this is taking 12 weeks and making your dreams become goals and your goals become reality. That's what this is about. And you get to do this. This is going to be a workshop. I'm going to tell you, I want you to get pencils, no pens to this workshop. Get yourself a whole slew of pencils. You can get stickers if you want and gold stars if you want, but we're going to be writing in this. Everything about this is going to really, really help you. Wait till you see how this just moves the needle. I know there was a lot of you who ordered 4 at a time. I mean, I spent the day, I've got writing cramp, sending them all out yesterday. So it was an exciting thing. Each one of you got your sign. I will still sign them. If you're buying them, I'm signing them. There you go. Okay. Is that a deal? I'm going to sign them because I'm putting my stamp on it, letting you know I am behind you. And the fact that you have this and and those of you who bought 4, I'm looking at you, Sarah. When you buy 4, you're saying you are all in. And you will also have the workshops on how to do this forever and ever. You know, you'll be able to go back and kind of get a refresher because this is how we get better. And this is why we're talking about what we're talking about today. The quote decks are available for purchase as well. I mean, these, speaking of flying, these are all flying out the door. We're getting low. Get your quote deck. These have they have a little stand so that you can pull out one of the little quotes that just lights you up. Here's one. Faith knows that it has already received and acts accordingly. Ooh, Let that give you the shivers. Let it give you the shivers. And then you put it here on your little stand and you let it do its work. You know, you do it subconsciously and you do it consciously, but it's doing its magic. It's sitting there letting off all those vibrational wonderfulnesses, isn't it? I love it. I love it. All of it. I know you have. I know, Joanne. I signed them all. Like, I know all of you who bought them and signed them. I just did it. You know, I just signed them and did it and just said, way to go. Way to go. And you're going to love that. You know, there's some heft to this. This is substantial. I don't like little flimsy things. I like things that have a little heft. And this is really fabulous. savingdinner.com/journal. Yes. And speaking of quotes, here's this week's quote. Okay. We have one life to live, just one. Why aren't we running like we're on fire toward our wildest dreams? Does that light you up? It sure lights me up. We need to be running toward our wildest. One shot in this life. We need to be lit up by our dreams and not shying away. That's the thing we should be focusing on. That's the thing that we need to be dwelling on, not all this other garbage, not the stuff we can't do. Let's start shifting the way we think, shifting the way we go, and understand, yes, you are enough right now, today. And as we go for the change, as we go for the things that we want in this life, you know, we've got tools for that. We've got the quote deck. We've got the mindful mug. We've got the Take Back Your Life journal. These are all tools to help you succeed on all of them. And they work. You work them, they're gonna do the work for you and make your life magical. So good. Hey, Judy, good to see you. I love this, Mary. Yes, 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 yes. This week's supplement of the week is the multivitamin. If you buy this, you are also going to get Be Your Own Nutritional Guru. This is a little ebook that I've written that is going to empower you and let you know that, yes, you do know better. And it just gives you some clues on how to stay the course. How to stay the course. You know why? Because instead of looking toward a guru to help to tell you what to do, you're going to figure this out for yourself. It's part of becoming an intuitive eater. It's a gold mine, this little book, and I want you to have that. You'll also get a Rubber Chicken ebook, which is just basically how to stretch one big roast or something big into lots of different little types of meals. Fabulous thing. It comes with the multivitamin this week only. savingdinner.com/show. That's how you get them. So I want, and also any of you bloomers out there, you full bloomers, you got a code sent to you in an email on how to get 10% off on anything in the website. Anything. The journals are not on sale though. You know, you can't do it for the journals. Anything else on the website. Use it, because if you don't use it, you will lose it. And I want to make sure that you're well taken care of. All right, we're going to talk. Who's getting ready for all of this? Who's getting ready? Who's getting ready for the sprint? I would suggest now that you get your sprint printed off, if this is your first time, that you would take a highlighter, get yourself a highlighter, get yourself a pencil, get yourself, and there's question and answers. That's how you do the Q&A, by the way. Send your questions into support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday goes in the subject line. I'll help you out on Friday. That's a promise. So when we go back to basics, we start with principles and we start with the big blocks. We talked about this before. We talked about, when you want to accomplish big things, that you've got to put those big rocks in the jar first. You don't put in the sand or the pebbles. You put in the big stuff first. These things, these 5 things, if you're note takers, 5 things, these are the needle movers. These are the things that make it work. These are the things that help you to connect the dots and help you to get beyond just a stupid diet plan and onto an anti-inflammatory way of life and a way to correct broken hunger hormones, out of control appetites, getting the proper amount of exercise in that's appropriate for you without breaking your cortisol, and also helping you get enough sleep, right? Get enough sleep, and helping you get to the hydration place, because there's more to it than just a bunch of water. Lots of different things for it. And using a mindful mug, because being mindful is the thing that's going to put you in the driver's seat and not have you at the whim of some dumb diet plan. There's so many out there, and they all work if you work them, right? That's what they all say. But it is the carousel of crazy. And what our goal is to get off of that. Stop following plans. Stop following this. Follow principles instead. Listening to our bodies, having hunger hormones that work on our behalf. That's what we want. I don't know about you. I don't want to pee on a stick. I don't know about you, but I don't want to count anything. I don't want to be counting things unless I'm trying to teach myself stuff. I don't want to count points or calories or macros or micros. I don't want to count it. I want this to be part of what I do and how I roll. This is what most people want. They don't want this whole plan taking over their lives. That's why the Hot Melt Sprint is so different. And so it's such a needle mover. So let's talk about what the basics are, okay? The basics are and how this whole thing works. Number one is intermittent fasting. Now, yeah, that's kind of a thing. And everybody's gone, ooh, intermittent fasting, this is the big deal. And this is what I'm going to do. And you get to the place of where you're watching. And if you're in some of the groups like I am on Facebook, you will see people who are saying, just how long can we go without eating? And I think that's kind of getting into a dangerous zone. If you're not hungry and if you're listening to your hunger hormones, then you don't eat, right? And that's one of the goals of this whole plan. So we use intermittent fasting in a way that just helps us to back away. Excuse me. I'm choking on this water. You like that water bottle? Isn't it so pretty? Yeah, I love this one. But intermittent fasting helps us to back away from all the snacking. We were told long ago, and I will admit, hand in the air, I was part of the problem. What I did was, in Body Clutter, told everybody eat every few hours. Lots of small meals. And at first, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I inhaled, and there's pollen and everything, so I'm trying to deal with all of that. But what it is, intermittent fasting is all it is about is getting you to the place where you are listening to your body instead of eating all the time. Now, the idea behind eating all the time was so that your blood sugar never dipped, so you never got hungry. And I thought it was like the greatest thing in the whole world, because then I was afraid of my hunger, and I know a lot of women are. I've talked to women who've never felt hungry because they were scared to get hungry. And they don't even, or it was so long ago, they don't even remember. Hunger is a good thing. This is when it lets us know that our bodies actually need fuel, actually need it. When you're constantly eating and constantly grazing, that means your insulin levels are always triggered. And insulin, if it has nowhere to go, is just circulating into the body because there's only so much that you need. And if it's just circulating into the body, you become pre-diabetic. And if it's just circulating into the body and you're still not, using it at all, you will eventually become diabetic. This is what happens because the diabetes type 2, yes, it's a blood sugar issue, but it's also a food issue. Did you know that? And doctors, some plain talking doctors will tell you, hey, that's from somebody who has eaten too much or eaten too much of the wrong stuff, or a combination thereof. Constant snacking is a big, big problem. And we have this notion, and I get asked all the time, tell me about healthy snack. What is a healthy snack? A healthy snack is no snack, is what a healthy snack is. We need meals. We're not in Afghanistan. It's not like the Red Cross truck is pulling out and that's it. That's all we're going to get. We have to start thinking in terms of going hours and hours and hours without all the eating. And exactly, Sarah just said it. What is snacking anyway, except it's mouth entertainment? It's fun to snack. It's fun to snack all the snacky foods. Look at them all. Chippities, crunchities, and sweet this and a cookie that, all the things, a little individual package here and a little, it's very enticing. And it's also just crap, mostly, Even if you're going toward an apple and some peanut butter, that was my big thing. Even if you're going toward everything, you don't need the snacks. Intermittent fasting teaches us this, and it helps us to back away. We start with 12 hours. 12 hours is easy. 12 hours is after dinner to the next morning, and you just time it for the 12 hours. So 7 to 7, say. Easy. You're sleeping most of the time. And then once you break your fast, only because you're hungry, then you go to your next meal. And if you're doing it with the Target Trifecta smoothie, which is I always strongly suggest that, because the balance of that thing is absolute. I don't want to use the word perfect, but come on, it's pretty darn close, because everything on it is just completely balanced for everything that you need, and you don't get hungry. You don't get hungry. Going 4, 5, even 6 hours without needing food, that's freedom. So the intermittent fasting, though, you get that down and you're going to start to correct those hunger hormones. And that is huge, because that's one step closer to becoming an intuitive eater. So intermittent fasting is number 1 on the needle movers. Number 2 on the needle movers is movement. Now we do this with several things. Now, how many of you, give me a pinkies up, guys. How many of you are 4-minute workouters? Huh? How many? How many? Sarah's right. How you break your fast is just as important as when you break your fast. Yeah, I mean, you need to, when we break our fast, and we do it with the Target Trifecta principle, fat, protein, good healthy fat, of course, protein and fiber, mostly in the form of green for the food, and then fiber mender, of course, in the smoothie. Guess what happens? Your body responds. Your hunger hormones respond. It's given everything that you need. And when you give your body right off the bat, when you break your fast, absolutely everything you need, you've got a small correction right there. And this is why you can go so long without eating. That's huge. That is a basic principle, and it will keep you every time. Now, the 4-minute, and don't forget the 4-minute don't forget the L-Glutamine. My goodness, the L-Glutamine that's a needle mover. I've got it right here on my desk, and I'll tell you about it here in just a minute. That'll be a bonus thing. But the 4-minute workout is a way for you to drop the nitric oxide that we all get that just accumulates in our muscles, and it stimulates muscle growth, which we all need. That doesn't mean you're ever going to look like, I've seen women, and a lot of women say, but I don't want muscles. I just want to look toned. That means you want muscle. We are physically incapable of looking jacked up like Arnold Schwarzenegger without some kind of a, hormone therapy intervention. It's impossible, so don't worry about that. Lifting heavy weights, that's a bonus thing. Lifting heavy weights is everything, because you will tone and change. I told you last month I dropped a whole size, and it was only because of the weightlifting that I did. Only because I lost 3 pounds, but I lost a whole size. I was thrilled. That's weightlifting. And 4-minute workouts is just what you do to feel good. It's going to rev your metabolism. You can do it 3 times a day. It takes nothing. I think Noreen does hers in the bathroom, if I'm not mistaken. Noreen does them. Movement's everything. But a 4-minute workout is the beginning, and it's something simple that you can do. I've done it, emptying my dishwasher, get done with the show, do a 4-minute workout before I can have lunch, get ready for dinner, do a 4-minute workout. Just, have that be the piggyback habit. As you go to make your meal, you go in and you do a 4-minute workout. You space them 4 minutes apart. And we put a link in there for you. It's free. You can find it on YouTube. It's genius. The number 2 is HIIT. That stands for high intensity interval training. That means you go hard for like 30 seconds, and then 2 minutes, you just kind of take a breath and get your breath back, and then go hard again for another 30 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever you can handle. It's up to you. It's dependent on your fitness level, but it's easy, and it revs the metabolism. And then, like I said, you get extra points if you dare to lift a heavy weight. And I'm not talking about little pink lady weights. I'm talking about stuff that you're going, whoa, that's heavy. Well, we have to start somewhere. So maybe you start with little pink weights, but then you get a muscle. I'm proud of that muscle. You know, are we always, everybody is worried about getting smaller and what size jeans are. How about we worry instead about getting stronger? Because as far as I'm concerned, whatever size you are, if you get an excellent report back from your doctor, your blood levels are good, and you're a size 14 or 16 or what, and you feel really good and you're proud of yourself and you're strong and you're doing things and your blood levels are there, who am I to say, no, you really need to be a size 6 or a whatever? It's not me. I'm going to tell you, we're all sizes, right? It's not about your size. It's about your strength. I don't want you losing muscle. I want you gaining muscle and losing fat. That's it. That's it. Julie's right. Hey, Julie, it does build bone strength. It does build bone strength. It protects your bones is what it does. So one of the things that we have to do is women over a certain age, we have to do that. We have to be very conscious about that and do that. Also be taking your vitamin D, also be taking your CalMags and getting some sunshine, you know, are you ready? No sunscreen for 10 minutes, so that the sun can get in and do its work. Then you can sunscreen up. Okay. And make sure you're going with a safe sunscreen. Go to environmental working group, ewg.org to choose your sunscreen. There's a lot of toxic stuff out there that, you know, you shouldn't be putting on anyone, let alone children and yourself. Number 3, it's the target trifecta principle. This works. This works. When your smoothie is target trifecta, when your plate is target trifecta. This is part of that whole intuitive eating goal. Target trifecta. How hard is it? It's not. It's protein. Protein for the correct amount of protein. We're talking 4 to 6 ounces for a woman, right? That's not a lot. We don't need a whole lot of protein, because what happens when we have too much protein and we're eating steaks the size of our heads and all the rest of it is that gets broken down and becomes carbohydrate, which there goes your blood sugar levels from a steak. We don't need that. We need to bring it all down. And you saw the meme that I posted, didn't you, in the Hot Melt Sprint group? This was from a doctor that I truly admire, who said, you know, the secret to never getting diabetes and getting, you know, away from this and belly fat and all of that, step away from the carbohydrates. It's not a necessary food group. Your body makes them from the food you eat. Okay? You know what it is? It's energy is what it is. You can pull the sugar out of a steak and the glucose out of a steak, and that's what your body needs. It just makes all the difference in the world when the steak becomes a mistake. Sarah, I need a snare drum. Bump. She's on it. She's on it. You also need to look at the fat. Now, fat has been vilified forever, since the 80s. Thank you very much. Or even the 70s. No, low fat, non-fat. Remember all that crazy stuff? And the carbohydrates went up and we got fatter. Yeah? Remember that? Snackwell cookies, anyone? That was absolute garbage. And I ate all of it thinking, I wasn't going to get fat because there's no fat in it. I got fat. I gained weight. Definitely gained weight. All of that stuff was a big, big mistake. Tip your waitresses. It was a big, big mistake. That's not what our bodies need. And your body is letting you know what it needs. If you've got a waist over 35 inches, then your body is telling you, back away from the carbohydrates. Just back away. Pretend they don't exist. You will not die. Your body will pull and make and create the glucose that it needs for brain function and other bodily functions from the food that you eat. And guess what? That changes you over from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner. That's why you drop all the weight. That's why Sarah's dropped all her weight. That's why Gwen's dropped her weight. Joanne, all of them. This is why they made the transition. Now, getting there can be a little tricky. It may make you feel bad, especially if you're used to eating a lot of carbohydrates. You know, we get addicted to them. We enjoy a good chip or cookie or chocolate, in my case, you know, whatever it is that lights you up. That stuff gets addictive. And the studies are interesting because the studies show that when we have this addiction, then we need to eat more of it. You know, just like a drug. You know, that little heroin bag isn't enough. Now we need 2 or whatever. It's the same thing. It lights up the same area of our brains. We're just like junkies. So when we back away from the stuff that's held us hostage, that has held our waistlines hostage, especially, Then we make that transition, and we might find ourselves feeling a little bit fluish, a little bit weird. Doreen, 35 pounds since January 4th or June 4th, January 4th. That's impressive. And you look great too. She had her little pink full bloom hoodie on. Did you see her pictures? I love the pictures that Noreen puts out there. This is it. People always say, oh, you don't eat carbs. And no, I eat a lot of carbs. They're in vegetables. And that's exactly right. It's not like you're carb free. I'm asking you to eat a ton of green vegetables. But you're not going to be eating rice and pastas and all that. We don't need them. Okay? 100% we don't need them. We just need to keep things a little bit low and be mindful of what's going on with the waist. So that's how that all works. The target trifecta principle. Healthy fat, enough to keep you satiated, enough to make you feel good, but not enough to upset your digestion. You know, these keto folks, a lot of them are eating 70% fat, and they're also going to the emergency room with gallbladder attacks. This is a problem because not everybody can digest that much fat. Fat does satiate, but listen, when you switch over from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner, I want to tell you something. Your body doesn't need you to ingest the fat. Your body will start to eat your own fat. I'm good with that, aren't you? Totally good with that. Eat my fat. Have my fat. Here it is, right here. Come on. Come on down. No, I said 6 to 8 protein for the day. Yes, that's for the day. Now, when you are sprinting, it's a little bit less than that. We're eating a little bit less than that because we're being super mindful of everything. But if you look at the sprint, part of the secret of the sprint is, besides the target trifecta plate, it's the volume of food. Look at the salad. Look at the soup. You know, there's a big volume of food, and there's your protein right there, and there's your healthy fat. You know, that's a lot of food, and it's delicious. I've always, inevitably, we get a new sprinter who says, how do you eat all this food? And that's always a good thing, right? Nobody wants to go hungry. That's not comfortable. And it's also the deprivation diets of our past. We've been there. That's not what this is about at all. That is not what this is about at all. It's cooling the inflammation. It's getting hormones that are hunger hormones corrected that have been out of whack for so long. It's putting a damper on that appetite so that you have control again. And it's getting you to the place where you can understand when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied, not full, and keep things under control. That's freedom right there. Now, one of the things that we have, this is a tool, it's L-Glutamine. You can find it on our shop on Saving Dinner. Now, L-Glutamine is your basic amino acid. If you put it here in a little dish and use it like so, boop, clean fingers and stuff, of course. Put it on your tongue, your gums. It cuts off that pleasure. It cuts off the pleasure center, the craving thing that's going on. You've got a craving that's going right to the pleasure center of your brain. It's like, give me cookies. It cuts it off. It makes you calm down, puts you back in control. And then when you compound that with Leptofix and Crave Crusher, which I take every day without fail, then you're doubly in control because Crave Crusher takes you all the way through the day. This stops things instantaneous. I use both. I'm not going to lie. I use both. It keeps me in the driver's seat. It's the best thing in the whole world. So now you know about the target trifecta principle. There's also the hydration thing. And have we finished our hydration challenge? I don't even know where we are. I don't even know where we are with all of that. But the hydration challenge brings in not just having you washing your kidneys all day long with tons and tons of water, but letting you know that any liquid that you are ingesting, including coffee, by the way, including tea, go look at the new research. This is what it says. That is hydration. And all of that counts. Your smoothie counts. Your soups count. Anything that is liquid counts. Isn't that great? And then you get to do your hydration equation, which is your weight divided by 2 equals whatever it is in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, divide that in 2, 75 ounces is your hydration equation. That doesn't mean 75 ounces of water. It means 75 ounces of hydration. Take out your coffee, take out your tea, take out your soup, take out your smoothie. Now do the rest in water. That's how it works. And then you set up your hydration station and you're good to go. But we also add in fiber and electrolytes. So hot melt mix and fiber mender, because that holds the hydration into the gut, helps it to get into the cell. And it makes a big, big difference. It makes you feel better. And it also is better for your body. You actually really, really hydrate. Just don't give the kidneys a big washing. You know, isn't that so good? Liquid rules, you betcha. All kinds of stuff. There is no end to the hydration challenge. You are so right, Sarah. It's constant, isn't it? I'm constantly doing it. I've got my water bottles all upstairs, and then I run upstairs to go get them. So I'm putting in a little extra, mileage on my chassis. And the last thing I'm going to mention is our mindful mug. I want to show you something. When we first had this idea for a mindful mug, this was the first one. All it says is mindful mug. Who's got this one, by the way? And right now I'll show you, this is what I do with this mindful mug. I keep my pens in there, and it's over here on my desk. And since then, we've gotten a little bit more sophisticated. And this is our latest iteration, of course. This is the mindful mug. And this has words in it that it says, I am incredible, amazing. It's got the number 1. And you do, all of you have those. That's so cool. But a mindful mug brings you to the place of mindfulness. When you're a mindful eater, as opposed to being a Hoover vacuum cleaner, that was my big thing. We no longer have to strap on the feedback. We're like sitting down. We have a cup of bone broth or put our soup in it, but it just reminds us, let's be mindful. Let's chew our food thoroughly. Let's eat till we're satisfied, not full. And this is how we get off the carousel of crazy, because the carousel of crazy is full of nonsense. It's stuff that we've done over and over again. It's weight that's gone up and down. It's going around and around in a circle and going nowhere. You know exactly what it is. It's bad decision-making, bad dieting, bad everything, and thinking that we're all held prisoner by some diet that we just haven't found yet that's going to be the miracle. You know where the miracle is? The miracle's in you. The miracle is when you get connected with your inner nutritional guru and start to understand just some of these science principles that I'm sharing with you, in nutritional principles. When you understand that, and you understand and you respect your own biology, your own physiology, and get into the science a little bit, get a couple of supportive supplements in there, and start practicing these principles, the whole world changes. Everything changes. Ask all of my lovelies here. They all have gotten that far because of changing their minds. Being mindful when you eat changes everything. Being mindful when you sit down to a dinner changes you from being a clean plate maker into being the type of woman who is listening to her body. This gets you one step closer to intuitive eating. And you can take your Target Trifecta principles anywhere. You can take it to any restaurant. You can take it to almost even any potluck, as long as, hopefully they're making some kind of a protein and somebody's brought somewhat of a decent salad. There's always a way out with these principles. And when we tie them all together, and we do this as a challenge every single week, well, every time we do it, which will be next week, that's when things change. And the needle moving is unbelievable. We've had women lose an amazing amount, double digits amount of pounds in just 7 days. It's because of a lot of water weight, right? Dropping. But water weight, people always poo-poo, oh, it's the water weight. You know what it is? That's not just water weight. That's inflammation going. And that counts. That counts. So putting this all together, that's going to take you back to basics. That's going to take you to the hot melt sprint. That's going to give you the information that you need to really jam it out the park this time. Because that's what I want for you. I want you to have every single tool that you need. And if you want to get a mindful mug, we have them at savingdinner.com/mug. 3 different ways to get them. But the very biggest point of the whole thing is, if you want one, this is the way to go find out about it. And the post there, you need to read. Okay, because that's the philosophy behind it. I kind of briefly went over it, but it just makes all the difference in the world. Going back to basics means you're going back to what you know. It's going back to, okay, I get this. This is what we're going to do. If you get out of the habit of Making your bed, what do? We go back to basics. We start making our bed every day. If you get out of the habit of cleaning up after yourself, we just get back to that and start cleaning up after ourselves again, don't we? We do that. We get out of whack a little bit, and we just have to start over and get it going. That's what this is about. And on men too, you're right, Catherine, men too. And on Monday, we are starting again. That's why I want you to get started right now today. Go to thesavingdinner.com/sprint, print out the guide. There is also a webinar there that will take you through and really explain all the science, everything about it. But I'm going to tell you, there you go, Terry, the whoosh. Yeah, I'm a whoosh kind of a gal. Nothing happens, then all of a sudden, boom, I'll drop 5 pounds, just like that. But it stays off too. Consistency is the whole thing. That's how this whole thing works. So I invite you to go back to basics with me. I'm inviting you to the sprint. It's free. It starts on Monday. We have a hot melt sprint group that you will be invited to as well once you get your guide and get started. And you're going to get a bunch of amazing women who are going to support you all the way, right? Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Sarah's in there. And if anybody, did you see Sarah's post today? I guess it was today or last night, late or whatever. But wow, changing before our eyes. I would love to see your very beginning starting place, Sarah. I'm challenging you to put that out there because you're just doing so great. We're all so proud of you. And I love watching all of you change and become the women you're meant to be. This is what vibrant living is all about. We start with food. That's a basic, isn't it? Peace be with you. I so appreciate you. We start on the 3rd. Not the 10th. Today, so because we follow the Fly Lady zones, she's got an overlap. There's at the very end is 5 and 1 are going to be in 1 week. And then on Monday, they do a full week of kitchen. Okay? Yeah. So proud of everyone. So let's be on it. Be ready. Get your bone broth or purchase it or whatever. And if you're new to this, you're saying, well, I don't know how to start, go get the guide at savingdinner.com/sprint. And there's some pre-work there that you can do. That's the warm up to the sprint so that you're not going, holy cow. Anyway, thank you so much for showing up. I love the fact that you're all here. Look at all of you here. So fun. Isn't it so great? And Saturday was amazing. You guys are amazing. Remember, you have to the end of today to go get Full Bloom. It's savingdinner.com/bloom. I will see you in the Hot Melt Sprint. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.